Πολιτικό και Καποδιστριακό Πανεπιστήμιο Αθηνών. Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. Welcome at the National Capodistrian University of Athens. The opening ceremony of the conference entitled Athens in Ancient Philosophy begins with the welcoming address by the Vice Rector for Academic Affairs, International Relations and Extroversion, Professor Sofia Papagionou.
Honorable Minister of Education, Religious Affairs and Sports, Mr. Pierakakis, Honorable Member of the Academy of Athens, Professor Nehamas, distinguished members of the Board of the University of Athens, distinguished Vice Rectors of our University, Professors Avstatopoulos, Karagiannis and Samitas, dear Chair of the Department of History and Philosophy and Science, Professor Hatzimissis, dear Director of the new MA program in Ancient Philosophy, Professor Thanassas, dear conference speakers, dear colleagues, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. I'm delighted to open this conference today, an event that celebrates in the most appropriate way a momentous occasion in the academic history of the National and Capodistrian University of Athens, the launching of the Athens MA in Ancient Philosophy, the first English-speaking MA in Greece devoted exclusively to the study of ancient philosophy. The program, which is based in Athens, but is the outcome of the collaboration of 4 leading Greek universities. The title of the conference, Athens in Ancient Philosophy, aspires to approach from a variety of perspectives the central role of Athens in ancient philosophical networks from the classical era till beyond the late antiquity. Indeed, as the description of the conference theme points out, the exceptional role of Athens in the intellectual and cultural revolution of the classical era of Greece has always fascinated the students of the ancient world. The Athenians were not very numerous, quote, not very powerful, not very organized, as the classicist Humphrey Quito noted half a century ago, but they nevertheless had a totally new conception of what human life was for, and showed for the first time what the human mind was for. Like Silicon Valley today, ancient Athens, during the brief period between the Persian Wars and the Peloponnesian War, became a talent magnet, attracting smart, ambitious people. A city with a population of about 300,000 people, a third of them slaves, it was an unlikely candidate for greatness, if you think well about it. Other Greek city-states were larger, Syracuse, or wealthier, such as Corinth, or even mightier, such as Sparta. Yet Athens produced more brilliant minds, from Socrates to Aristotle, than any other place in the world has seen before or since. Only Renaissance Florence comes close, perhaps. When Athens' genius was Athenian genius simply the convergence of a heavy set of circumstances, as the historian Peter Watson has put it? Or did the Athenians make their luck? This question has stunned historians and archaeologists for centuries, but the answer may lie in what we already know about life in Athens back in the day. The ancient Athenians enjoyed a deeply intimate relationship with their city. Civic life was not optional. There was no such thing as an aloof, apathetic Athenian. The man who took no interest in the affairs of the state was not a man who minded his own business, wrote Thucydides, but a man who had no business being in Athens at all. In retrospect, many aspects of ancient Athenian life, including the layout and character of the city itself, were conducive to creative philosophical thinking. All of ancient Athens displayed a combination of the linear and the bent. All of ancient Athens displayed a combination of the linear and the bent, the orderly and the chaotic. The Parthenon, perhaps the most famous structure of the ancient world, looks like the epitome of linear thinking, rational thought frozen in stone. But this is an illusion. The building has not a single straight line, an archaeologist will tell you. Each column bends slightly this way or that. And their efforts, the Athenian efforts to nourish their minds, led to the construction of the first global city. Master shipbuilders and sailors, the Athenians journeyed to Egypt, Mesopotamia, and beyond, bringing back the alphabet from the Phoenicians, medicine and sculpture from the Egyptians, mathematics from the Babylonians. The Athenians felt no shame in their intellectual pilfering. Of course, they took those borrowed ideas and put their own stamp on them. Athens also welcomed foreigners themselves. They lived in profoundly insecure times, but rather than walling themselves off from the outside world like the Spartans, the Athenians allowed outsiders to roam the city freely, even during wartime, often to the city's benefit. Some of the best-known sophists, as you know better than I do, were foreign-born. It was part of what made Athens, Athens. Openness to foreign goods, new ideas, and perhaps, most importantly, old people and strange ideas. The greatest of Athenian oddballs was Socrates. Never before or since has a man and a city been so perfectly matched. Eccentric, barefoot, and stubborn, Socrates occupied that precarious position that all geniuses, philosophers do, perched between insider and outsider. He was far enough from the mainstream to see the world through fresh eyes, yet close enough to it that his insides resonated. And it is probably the reason why philosophy always kept returning to Athens and why ideas born elsewhere took their definite form in Athens. With these few words, which were more than few, actually, I wish you a fruitful conference. I regret that many duties, administrative and academic, prohibited me from attending the talks of this conference. And I would very much like to attend the talks by some of the most influential thinkers in ancient philosophy today. It's a great honor for our university, and thank you for being here. Your presence signals the momentous occasion of the inauguration of this new MA in ancient philosophy, and inspires optimism that this new program will make Athens a destination for the study of the very subject. Thank you very much, and thank you for being here. Χερακάκης.
Σας ευχαριστώ πολύ. Κυρίες και κύριοι, thank you so much. It's a great joy to be here, and needless to say, I am genuinely delighted to stand before you today on this special and symbolic occasion. Launching the Athens Master of Arts in Ancient Philosophy is a very significant step forward for the academic ecosystem of Greece and for us as Ministry of Education. To offer this master's degree, 4 major Greek universities from 4 different cities in 4 different areas joined forces. And the present MA represents a cosmopolitan face of the Greek academic world. Congratulations to the faculty and to the staff of the universities who worked tirelessly to bring this program to fruition. Your dedication to scholarship and your commitment to providing an exceptional educational experience for our students are truly commendable. And needless to say, the present master's degree is a result of your vision, your commitment, and your task that represents our vision as well. We have to note that this master's degree in ancient philosophy represents an opportunity for students internationally to learn the philosophical endeavors of the ancients in the same areas where the ancients dwelt. And this by itself has a symbolic, I would say, value, but also a very significant pragmatological value. I would like to welcome the students who have chosen to be part of this master's degree. Your decision to study ancient philosophy in Athens is a testament to your intellectual curiosity and your desire to engage with timeless questions about the nature of existence, knowledge, and morality. And undoubtedly, the Athens MA in ancient philosophy will be a transformative experience for you as well. Ancient philosophy holds a special place in the rich tapestry of human intellectual history. It's the foundation upon which many of our modern ideas and values have been built. The works of great philosophers such as Plato, Aristotle, Socrates have profoundly influenced the course of philosophy in various aspects of our society, from ethics and politics to science and culture. And in a world facing complex political challenges, political debates and environmental crisis, the insights of ancient philosophy are as relevant as ever. And if I'm allowed to make a personal note, this comes from a computer scientist who, while studying artificial intelligence on many elements of the various aspects of policy that we need to design AI for, philosophical questions emerge in many of those aspects. And we need to treat them systematically. And the works of the ancients, and the point of view of the ancients, is extremely significant to attempt to answer those questions. The Athens MA in ancient philosophy is not just an academic pursuit. It's an invitation to engage with the intellectual giants of antiquity. And through this program, students will have the opportunity to delve into the works of Plato and Aristotle, to ponder the ethical dilemmas posed by the Stoics and the Epicureans, and to explore the metaphysical questions that have perplexed philosophers for centuries. But this program is not just about the past, as I mentioned. It's about how the wisdom of the ancients informs the present and shapes the future. Once again, let me assure you that the Ministry of Education fully supports the Greek academic world and endeavors, especially endeavors such as these. And I've already expressed my appreciation and respect for our researchers and academics, and I believe that they deserve results worthy of their abilities and commitment. Our strategy is about making this country an international educational center, a more cosmopolitan educational center, and this endeavor, I think, lies at the heart of what we want to achieve. In conclusion, this program represents not only a new chapter in the Greek University's mission, but also a testament, as I mentioned, to the enduring relevance and importance of philosophy. I am confident that the Athens MA in ancient philosophy will foster a community of scholars who will continue to explore the wisdom of the ancients and continue to contribute to the ongoing dialogue about the fundamental questions of human existence. I look forward to witnessing the intellectual journey of our students and the impact that they will undoubtedly have on the world. And our promise is that the Ministry of Education will support you at every step of this journey. Thank you so much.
We invite now the president of the first session of the conference, professor at Princeton University and member of the Academy of Athens, Alexandros Nichamas, to coordinate the first session proceedings.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. I hope you can hear me. My position here is more or less decorative. What I will do then is call upon Professor Hatzimoisis, the chair of the Department of IFE, Philosophy of Science, to say a few words about our new program. Thank you, Professor Hatzimoisis.
Philosophy is the name of a calm passion, the love of wisdom, the desire to understand not only the world around us, but also our own self. One of the best ways to enhance that understanding is the exchange of ideas between people coming from different academic, intellectual, cultural backgrounds. It is thus with great pleasure that we welcome international students as potential collaborators in our unending quest for philosophical knowledge. Our department is home to 6 MA programs. Last week we had the inaugural conference of the MA in Contemporary Philosophy. A couple of days ago in this building we had a public event about Oppenheimer and the Manhattan Project. Last evening in Megaron Hall we held an event about contemporary art and new technologies. This wide variety of topics, however, would be left adrift without a solid intellectual anchor that only the systematic study of ancient philosophy can offer. We are thus grateful to our colleagues from the University of Athens, Thessaloniki, Patras, and Crete for choosing this institution as the basis for this world-class, research-driven MA program. We wish you every success.
Now call on Professor Katerina Irodiakonou to say a few words.
It may be the case that according to Aristotle's version of the history of philosophy, ancient philosophy started in Miletus rather than in Athens. But there should be no doubt that philosophy, at least the way we understand it today, could have been developed in any other city-state, for example in Sparta, but only in Athens. This is, I think, the topic of our conference today. And this is the reason why for many years now we wanted to have an MA in ancient philosophy in Athens. Our aim is that our students, by living and studying in this city, will get something of the experience that citizens of this city used to have during the classical and Hellenistic period, when they were walking from Plato's Academy to Aristotle's Lyceum, to the Epicurean Garden, and to the Poikili Stoa in the Athenian Agora. They could thus listen to an array of philosophical doctrines, participate in long and complex philosophical discussions, and make up their minds about the best way to reach eudaimonia so that they can have a life worth living. I hope there will be more occasions in the future to thank everyone who made possible the realization of this MA program. And I would like to thank in particular our colleagues from the University of Thessaloniki, of Crete and Patras, but also our colleagues all over the world who encouraged us and supported us. Especially, I would like to thank our director, Panagiotis Thanassas, because without his hard work and unstoppable determination, we wouldn't have been here to celebrate the beginning of the Athens MA in Ancient Philosophy. Thank you.
The MA program is the work of many people, but I now call on what is in fact the efficient and formal cause of the program, Professor Panagiotis Thanassas.
Honorable Minister of Education, Mr. Pierakakis, Honorable Vice Rectors of the National and Kapodistria University of Athens, Honorable Chair of the session, Professor Nehamas, Honorable Members of the Board, distinguished guests, dear colleagues and students. Our conference pays tribute to Athens. Athens, as Katerina already said, is not the birthplace of philosophy, but it is where philosophy took shape as an enterprise of logos, chiefly characterized by argumentation, by a logon didonai. As we all know, Athens stands as the city where philosophy has been cultivated continuously for at least 10 centuries, from the 5th century BC to the 6th century AD. But what about today? Today, in Athens, we acknowledge an old debt, the debt to re-examine and profoundly reflect on the philosophical tradition that flourished in this city. This debt can only be fulfilled now, for it is only in recent years that Greece has developed a genuine academic community dedicated to the study of ancient philosophy. This means that Greek scholars are now seamlessly integrated into the global academic world. Our community has now dispelled the shadows of provincialism, publishing in international journals, engaging in debates with international colleagues, and rightfully claiming their deserved place in the global academic landscape. We are endeavoring to fulfill this debt also with the establishment of the Athens MA in Ancient Philosophy. The inception of this program resulted from a series of associations, the details of which I'm certain hold little interest for our audience, in the early hours of July 3rd, 2020. Today, 3 years later, we proudly welcome the inaugural cohort of 13 students, 3 hailing from the US, 3 from China, and 1 each from Brazil, Italy, Mexico, the Netherlands, Uzbekistan, Turkey, and Greece. In its inaugural year, the program garnered 24 applications, from which 16 candidates were accepted, and we are delighted to have 13 students currently enrolled. This promising beginning sets the stage for the program to establish itself as a premier choice for those aspiring to study ancient philosophy in Europe. Notably, we stand as one of the rare programs globally with an exclusive focus on ancient Greek philosophy. Mr. Minister, Mr. Vice Rectors, and Mrs. Vice Rector, sorry, Sophia as well, you may wonder what you can contribute to this program. We do not need and do not anticipate a direct positive contribution to this program from your end. However, We do seek your assistance in removing a series of impediments imposed by the Greek administration in general and by the processes followed in our university in particular. We appreciate, dear Minister, the generous financial support of the Greek state in the internationalization of Greek universities, for which support I would like, by the way, to extend specific thanks to the former Secretary General of the Ministry of Education, Apostolos Dimitropoulos. Additionally, I would like to stress the significant overall help of the Study in Greece initiative organized by the Harkopian University and Professor Michalakakis. However, Mr. Minister, out of our 13 students, only 11 are present here today. 2 of them are still grappling with the challenges posed by Greek consulates worldwide. Today is, of course, a day of celebration, which I don't want to overshadow with complaints. However, I remain at your disposal, Mr. Minister and Vice Rectors, for a more comprehensive report of the hurdles we have faced and still face. If we envision the Athens MA to continue operating successfully within the framework of Greek public education, a resolution of these impediments is, in my eyes, imperative, and your support will be valuable. Ladies and gentlemen, it is no coincidence that none of the conference speakers represent an Athenian institution. We intended our conference to be a gathering where the contribution of Athens to the development of philosophy is acknowledged by esteemed colleagues coming from elsewhere. Outstanding scholars who have arrived here from Brazil and India, California and Belgium, Germany and the UK, Crete and Thessaloniki. I extend my gratitude to all these colleagues who accepted our invitation. My sincere thanks to the President of the Hellenic Republic, Ms. Sakelaropoulou, for putting this conference under her auspices. Many thanks to you, Mr. Minister, and Mr. Vice Rectors, for honoring us with your presence. Thanks also to our students for being here with us, and a big thank to all of you as well. Ancient philosophy, welcome back to Athens. There is a 3-minute video. Is a new intensive 1-year graduate program offering in-depth knowledge of ancient philosophy and high-level research training. The program promotes the study of ancient Greek philosophy in its entire historical and thematic range, from the pre-Socratics to the philosophers of late antiquity, covering topics in metaphysics, ethics, and epistemology. It is one of very few programs worldwide that focus exclusively on ancient philosophy. Those 4 universities have joined forces to create a highly competitive program. Courses will be taught in Athens in the brand new building of the Department of History and Philosophy of Science. Courses will be taught by professors of the 4 participating universities, as well as by visiting scholars from international institutions.
The study of philosophy enhances your ability to evaluate and resolve problems, analyze concepts and arguments. This is true of the study of ancient philosophy, first and foremost, for it deals with the origins of the ideas that shaped Western civilization.
Why should someone study ancient philosophy in Athens? First of all, it's very nice to live in Athens. Athens is is a big city that has attracted a lot of young people, intellectuals, artists, and of course there are the emblematic signs that anyone who studies ancient philosophy is familiar with. For instance, the King Arthur's court in the beginning of the Euthyphro. And even Plato's cave, some people think that he was inspired to describe this allegory from a cave in Vari, which is here in Attica.
This is, of course, designed as a survey, so we will be looking at a number of different dialogues from Plato's early and middle periods primarily. We'll read dialogues about the nature of virtue, the relationship between virtue and happiness or the good life.
The program's duration is a full academic year. 2 semesters of courses are followed by a summer term during which students will prepare their master's thesis.
So we look forward to welcoming you to Athens.